How do you feel when you hear silver 5 times? Yes, that's right. The price of silver going up by 5 times in value. Seems preposterous, right? Well, it's happened to oil. It's happened to a plethora of other assets, and it could definitely happen to the price of silver. What are the rich people doing? What are the wealthy, the billionaires? We always want to know what Warren Buffett's doing, Bill Gates. There's a ton of other very wealthy people in the world, and we need to look at what they're doing, analyze what's going on in the silver market in regards to what the big money is doing, and that will give us a clue as to the future direction of silver. We're going to cover all that, me and you, right now. Let's go. I bet you're a tough person. Heck, you have to be invested in the precious metals. The volatility, you got to have tough mental fortitude. One thing that's not tough, and in fact is actually very fragile, is the silver market. All the gurus are saying, and I imagine you probably feel the same way, that with the current conditions in the silver market right now, aren't things a little fragile? So what is the big money doing? Well, we can look at the COMEX and the LBMA, both of which have seen their vaults of actual physical metal that backs all the unicorn fart dust. All the vaults have been depleted to almost record level lows, and the depletion continues at a very aggressive rate. But what does that tell us? What that tells us is that the big money, the people that can buy the 1,000-ounce bars and buy several 1,000-ounce bars, buy, 10,000, 20,000 ounces at a time, they are taking silver off the market, off the metals exchanges. They aren't just trading the unicorn fart dust. They're saying, I want the silver. I want to have it. They are going long on silver, and they want to hold it in their possession. But it gets even more interesting when you consider one more fact that we're going to get to. But first, if you enjoy joining me here in Ron's Basement, which I hope you do, because it's an honor to me to get to spend this time with you one-on-one, you can subscribe right here. So we know they're draining all the silver off the COMEX and LBMA vaults. We know that means they're going long. They're taking delivery. They're actually getting the physical silver. The real interesting thing is when you consider the fact what they're doing by taking that delivery, they're also eliminating counterparty risk, meaning they are eliminating the risk that someone else holding their silver or holding it in paper form. They want to eliminate that risk, and the wealthy big money investors are actually taking delivery of the silver. Take a step back. What does that tell us? What do you think about that? To me, that shows that the big money, the people that have the inside information, know that it's very likely that silver could rocket higher, and they don't want to take any risk in regards to who or where their actual physical metal's being held. They want to hold it in their possession. Probably like a lot of you who stack silver. You don't want to keep it at a bank safety deposit box or have it electronically stored in the SLV ETF. You want your silver, and now the big money's doing the same thing. Now it gets even more interesting when you consider that right now, the commercial banks are net long silver. That's a very rare occurrence. And again, that's part of the big money in the know crowd. They are long silver. But there's one more key positive thing we need to consider. All this is going on. The big money is positioning themselves in physical silver. They're draining the vaults, everything we've already talked about, but there's something else to consider, and that will provide the 5 times rocket fuel booster to the price of the metal. Before I tell you that, I just want to remind you, I'm so glad you're spending this time with me. I appreciate you. You're important. I love you, and your mommy loves you. Now, what is this other X factor, the 5X factor? Only 0.5% of investable capital in the world is in precious metals. Rick Rule talks about this all the time. Now, all these conditions are occurring while still there's just that tiny sliver, right? And we're part of that tiny sliver, me and you, that tiny sliver in the metals. The average amount is 2.5%. That's 5 times more money in the sector. That could easily, at minimum, when that occurs, when people come back to the metals, when the herd takes their eyeballs off the mainstream media and realizes kind of the screwy situation we're in and comes and joins us on the love boat, right? The silver and gold love boat, that will be rocket fuel to the price of the precious metals. But it gets even better. I know, one last surprise for you. So we know the big money's gobbling up all the silver. We know the commercial banks are net long. What about the fact that we have huge industrial demand for silver? The demand for silver continues to skyrocket. Solar panels, electronics, all that. You know the story. Investment demand from average folks like you and me, right? It is skyrocketing. Have you looked at the premiums on silver products right now? And have you considered that the supply of silver coming from the mines is decreasing? The Silver Institute told us that between 2016 and 2021, mine output dropped by 10% for silver. When you factor all these things in, it's just mind-blowing, the supply-demand dynamic within the silver market right now, not to mention the fact that the BRICS countries, Russia, China, starting their own alliance, starting their own trading hub for metals because they believe the price has been manipulated. When you wrap it all together, at least when I wrap it all together, it looks like there's a great story for the price of silver going forward. 5x could be nothing. We could be 10x. Who knows? We're going to find out. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But most important, thank you for joining me here in Ron's Basement. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you, yes, you, the one and only you, next time.